What's going on, everybody? Marcelo here. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. We hope you guys are still enjoying the ride. We are so incredibly thankful for your guys' support, and we know we're having tons of fun with it. This episode is brought to you by G2 Paintball, a paintball athletics company that is designed to make you a better paintball athlete both on and off the field. They will be hosting some spring camps coming up here pretty soon to where you guys can actually come and do some physical workouts in person with them. It's stuff that we use on Dynasty. They have been out to the BKI Paintball Combine, and G2 Paintball is really just geared around making you a better athlete both on and off the field. Paintball is a very high-demand physical activity that requires certain movements that you don't use in any other sport. It's really difficult to train for in the gym, and there are very specific things that you need to do to make sure you can maximize your efforts on the field. So G2 Paintball is designed to, again, make you become a better paintball athlete. You guys can head over to g2paintball.com and check them out. This episode is also brought to you by Transfuse. Transfuse is our new favorite electrolyte drink that we are just incredibly stoked on. I've been drinking this stuff every single day. It tastes amazing and it is loaded with goodness. It has your traditional electrolytes, magnesium, potassium, sodium, and it's very low in sugar, which is also a bonus. But in addition to all of those amazing electrolytes, it also has really awesome vitamins that are good for the immune system, brain function, and overall health. Has over 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C. That's epic. One of those regular emergency packets only has 1,000 milligrams. Vitamin C is proven over and over and over to boost your immune system. In times like this, you want that. We need strong immune systems. It also has zinc. Zinc is incredibly beneficial. It has been proven also numerous times to shorten the duration of a common cold or any respiratory illness. So getting your daily amounts of zinc is very important. This product has that. It is ready for you, easy to consume. Vitamin B. Vitamin B is another great brain-boosting component that I love to take. I used to take all of these supplements individually in pill form, and it's just a pain in the butt. And Transfuse does a great job. It's all put together for you in one little packet. It's delicious, easy to drink, easy to travel with. I love taking it with me on all of my trips. Often, it's very easy to get dehydrated when you're traveling, and Transfuse has been a lifesaver for me. You guys could head over to translabs.com. That's translabs.com. And use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout. You'll get 10% off, and you will also be supporting the show. We would definitely greatly appreciate it. But with that said, everybody, this episode was very special. Ronnie Dizon is the man. He is a dominator in the world of media marketing and really understands the importance of treating yourself as a business and treating yourself like a brand. And he has done an awesome job. So without further ado, we're going to hop in there.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys. Though Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Ronnie Dizon, what is up, my man? The man,
Yeah,
the myth,
baby.
the media marketing mogul. Dude,
I like that.
How's it going?
It's going good, man. It's going good. Paintball's opening back up everywhere. So we just got off a good weekend playing with some of the Aftermath and Outlaw guys. So it was good.
There we go. Yeah, I know. It's been crazy, huh? This whole
thing. I see you guys getting out there recording, making some videos. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, we're having fun with the process.
We're just trying to follow in the footsteps of Dizon Docs, baby.
That's it.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Dude, you guys are murdering it, though. It's awesome.
I mean, you too, man. You honestly, I've talked to you about it for so many years, actually, since you started doing it. It's awesome what you do. Your videos are amazing. You actually helped us quite a bit. You actually did our intro for those that don't know. Ronnie hooked us up with our intro and spent hours on the phone with me when we were trying to get this thing off the ground, helping us figure out how to like edit and do all sorts of stuff.
Dude, that was such a process because it was like we were just going back and forth. And then I remember you were like, dude, my QuickTime isn't working. Like the program on his computer. I'm like watching him on FaceTime. I'm like, dude, just click file. And he's like, oh, never mind. It was just such small things.
Such small things, dude. I mean, it's a new language for me. Me and Ty are like just treading water over here trying to figure out how to swim.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, you
We're
guys
on
are killing it,
YouTube.
dude. You guys have been pumping out so many podcasts. I can't even keep up. It's great. It's great.
Yeah,
It's good for paintball.
for sure.
100%, dude. I think that's what it's about is, especially when everyone was stuck at home, man, it was awesome to just be able to keep people excited for the game and
Yeah.
share stories too.
For a
Yeah,
second there, I felt like we were, like the paintball source of, the energy for paintball. Cause we've been hurting, man. People have been hurting right
yeah.
now.
I think what was cool about it was like a lot of people started doing live streams during that quarantine time or like the harder quarantine. And then you guys just took the gas pedal down and just stepped
Yeah.
on it the whole way. And you guys, because some people did it just because of the quarantine. And as soon as paintball started opening up, they kind of died off. It's like, you guys are like, no, dude, this is here to stay. And I think it opened a lot of people's eyes up of like, okay, we should probably be doing more media and stuff because of how things are. So I think
Totally.
it's great for
Yeah.
paintball.
We started, this is a business, Marcelo and I are in it for the long haul, and we're having fun with it. We're making some merchandise, connecting with the communities, making videos, having great people like you on the show. I mean, some of these shows we've done have been insane. And for the community to be able to have this database of information, we feel is unparalleled and just huge for the game.
Yeah, for sure. I like that you guys are doing that. I like those hats you guys are wearing.
Yeah,
Nice.
let's go.
Good.
You know,
We got one
Yeah.
coming your way. We got
Maybe a little play the game Dizon Docs collab coming up.
Hey,
Huh?
there we
Oh,
go.
let's go, dude. You know we're
Absolutely.
down.
That'd be tight.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Yeah, you have a great logo, a great presence. That's actually like, obviously we want to start off by getting into the backstory, but man, you have such a presence on the internet, and that's something that a lot of paintball players don't fully understand or know the power of. And it's really the most valuable thing that you can do is what you've done. And you're a smart cat. I know that. You know what you're doing, and you're going to be here for a long time. So it's great that we have players like you in the league that are going to be around and pumping the brands and pumping up the game for so long.
I appreciate that. I mean, I think what the big thing was is like I saw you, like Marcelo, you, Ryan, like you guys were doing it big for a good while in the beginning of it. And I was like, man, I need to get on that train. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the something that I didn't see was like I saw Ryan doing vlogs a while ago, and he did that for a little. And like I was like, dude, I want to do that. I watch vlogs regularly of like other people. I'm like, dude, nobody shows paintball. And I was kind of scared to do it when I was on Aftershock because I'm like, well, the only thing I did was drive to the Badlands and drive home. You know what I mean? I guess I could, the whole thing would be rated R too, probably. So,
Mikey Bruno would have been pretty fun to have on the vlog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like at the time I was like, I don't know. And then when I went back to Heat, I was like, okay, like, dude, like I want to show it all again. I want to show it the right way. But I think it's a lot of people are realizing that social media is here, and some people were kind of neglecting of it as soon as Instagram and stuff started popping off. And then some guys like you guys who took advantage of it fully the second it was open, so I think it was recognizing that and then just going with it. So
totally.
Yeah. In paintball, especially, you really have to treat your brand as a business. You have to, if you want to monetize paintball and really make it your career, turn it into a living that is sustainable, be able to support yourself, you need to do more than just play. You have to market yourself well. You have to be valuable to different brands. You have to do all sorts of stuff to be able to set yourself up to live that kind of life. And beyond that, I love Tyler's dying over here. I think
I took a bad drink of water.
We were trying to play it off, but
I was looking at him. I'm like, is he okay? And then he like kept going and going, and then he came back and he was just smiling. I'm like, dude, I can't hold this in right now. I'm sorry.
I took a bad drink of water. Holy moly. Sorry about that.
Oh man,
bro. You good? You've been quarantining long enough or what?
This is real life, baby.
That's great.
Real life.
You better hold that in. Don't cut that. Don't cut that one.
Oh, dude, we don't cut any of the show. The only editing we do is to include the intro and all that stuff, but we don't do any editing of the show. It is raw, real, raw good. Hey, Ronnie, hold up that mug you just had real quick.
Yeah, let's go.
My mug.
What's up, Transfuse?
Was that a?
This one's
the Ronnie Dizon. There we go.
This is
Dizon Docs.
See, there you go. For people just listening, For people just listening to the show over on the YouTube channel, Ronnie has a sweet Dizon Doc kind of mug. But that just goes into what we were talking about, man. You've really done a great job of marketing yourself and setting up your brand so you can sell merchandise and promote what you're doing and get sponsorship, different things like that. That's extremely crucial. Actually, in Tyler and I's last show, we really broke down this entire concept, and so we're excited to have you follow up because you do it really well.
Absolutely.
But
Probably one of the best, in my opinion.
yeah,
Gang.
totally.
Yeah, let's go.
Gang,
Gang,
baby.
gang.
Gang. So Ronnie, how'd you get into paintball, man? How'd you start? I think that's a story we love to tell. You know,
Sure.
everyone is
Oh,
always
I was a wee
interested.
young lad.
Let us
When
know.
I was 12 years old, actually, my next door neighbor had a spider, and he was shooting like a bunch of like targets or something in his backyard. I don't know what he was
Nice.
doing. He was just shooting it. And my dad and I were out there, and he was like mowing the lawn, and I was like, I don't know what I was doing, probably like in the pool or something. And I look up and I see him shooting it, and then I'm like, yeah, what's that? And he's like, it's a paintball gun. And I'm like, oh, cool. And like, he's like, you want to try? And I'm like, I shot it in front of my dad. My dad shot it.
Yeah.
My dad looked at me and he goes, you're never going to get one of those. And I'm like,
Sounds like my
great.
story.
Yeah, sounds awesome. You know what I mean? Like, so then, obviously, like my mom was in the house, and I, when my dad was mowing the lawn, I went back inside. I was like, hey, Mom, can I buy a paintball gun? She's like, yeah, sure, for your birthday. Like, leave me alone, So she actually brought me to Bad Boys Toys, which was the store that Rennick Miller owned from Aftershock, and that's where I got my first paintball gun. And then we actually built a woods ball field in these woods, which is now like a street, like a fully paved street right now. But it used to be all these woods in my backyard. And my friends and I would go out there every weekend. We'd build and build and build, and then play and then build. And then there was a neighborhood across from us, and they had paintball like guns and stuff, like the kids over there. So we played their neighborhood. It was like our neighborhood against theirs.
Wow.
That's tight.
Dude, it was sick, dude.
Tight. Gang wars, baby.
That's what I'm saying, dude. We would go to this like forest with all these guys, like get our like everything together and play. And then there would be like dirt bikes and stuff. Like it was like our own little mecca. And then the cops like, put a huge shutdown to it.
Yeah.
And then I started going to like this indoor field called Country Club.
Hold on, can I just pause you there for a second? So you're telling me you had like straight up battles with the turf out there?
Yeah, dude, it was sick, bro. I'm telling you, it was nasty. Because like these kids, like they were like just everyone who bought like a CO2 tank and a gun, and they would just get their other buddy out there. So we would get someone else out there, and then we would just influence people to keep playing. So it was really cool.
That's awesome.
So then I went to I went to a park called Country Club. It was like an indoor. And one of the first few times I walked in, the Dynasty guys were there.
Oh wow!
So Alex, Oliver, all of them. They're doing a if you ask like probably Alex and all them, like it's called Country Club. This guy George used to own it, and I walk in and they were all to the left of me, and I didn't know who anybody was. And like the owner George was like, "Oh hey, all the Dynasty guys are here. Like Alex is running around and Oliver's here," and I'm like, "That's great. I have no idea who these guys are." And then from then on, that's how I became a Dynasty fan, because I looked him up when I got home, and I'm like, dude, no way they were like playing with me, or like I just had no idea.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was just hooked from there. But
what year was that?
Dude, 2004, I think.
Wow, that was in the heyday.
Dude, maybe like beginning of 2004. Like I still think they were going from Angels to Shockers or something.
Wow.
Dude, it was a while ago. Yeah.
That's a cool story. Dang.
Yeah.
That was like the highlight of, hard to say the highlight, but I mean, Dynasty was just reigning supreme at that time. Nobody was even close to on their level. They were winning every tournament they played.
Yeah, dude. It was like, it was right after the Triple Crown, I think, or something like that. Dude, it was later, a little bit later than that. So,
and that right there just shows you the power of branding right there. You had no clue who these guys were, the biggest stars in the world in the sport that you love. They're standing right next to you.
Dude,
and,
it's unbelievable, dude. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And then you go home, you look at the internet, and there they are on the internet, and because they brand it. Dynasty is the best at branding. I mean, 100%. In my opinion.
I think so. I mean, look how long. Look, the team's still relevant, and it's still a huge name.
Yeah.
So it's pretty wild.
It's been two decades. This is the 20th year for Dynasty, which is insane.
It's unbelievable, dude.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Hats off.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Little golf clap for the boys.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
So, all right. So that, you had your first encounter. You said you got hooked. When did you start playing competitively? Did you have an outdoor field? Because, growing up in that area, you definitely, outdoor paintball is very seasonal.
Yeah.
It's either extremely hot and unbearable or freezing cold and snow.
Yeah, especially the winters. So Badlands was like, so there was two kind of paintball scenes, right? There was the Badlands paintball scene with like Aftershock and all the dye guns and everything. And then there was like the Warp Sports side of thing, which is like you're shooting like egos and intimidators and stuff like that. It was kind of like divided, right? And if you were a Warp Sports kid, you know what I mean? Like you hated the Bad Boys Toys kids. Like it was almost like it was another gang war. I don't know what it is. Maybe
Yeah.
Chicago.
Okay.
Right? So
That's just how it is out there.
dude, for real.
Yeah.
So I played my first tournament in 2004. It was just like local ones at that same field, that country club field. And I actually played against you remember the pro team Legend?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were like Division 2 at the time. So we were just playing them, you know what I mean? And they actually went head to head with do you guys know Cheech?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What,
So
Cheech and Chong?
Cheech.
Yeah.
big Cheech, right?
Okay. Yeah, of course. Chris.
Yeah, Chris Kim. He was playing a tournament and they played like Legend in that tournament. I remember specifically because I was watching like Cheech. I'm like, dude, he's like these are the guys I'm looking up to at the time in the local divisions, right?
Okay.
Then fast forward, Chicago Evil actually had like a kids team. So I joined them in like 2006 or something like that. Like it was a little later after I started playing. So then I started playing like Badlands series tournaments and playing those a lot. And then my first national wasn't until like 2008. So it took a while for me to get into nationals. And the big thing was the money. I just didn't have it because I was young.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing for a lot of young players to find the financial support to play paintball. It's an expensive game for sure.
Yeah.
But what you did have outweighs any money dollar value. You had heart and you had passion to play. That's what you did have.
Yeah. I really wanted to play tournaments, but I remember I would always ask like, could I go to Cup this year? Or could I do this? It's like, no, I can't buy a plane ticket. No one's going to come with me. It's like, my parents didn't trust the sport just yet, you know? So it took me to be able to bring my dad to like 2008 Chicago. And then like, I was going to play 5-man and you guys were pro at the time, which is like, you know, that's what's crazy. Cause it's like, I'm watching you guys play and like, I'm just like, dude, and now I'm on a podcast with you guys. Like it's crazy.
Full circle.
Dude.
Absolutely.
Wow. Dude, that's so crazy. But yeah, so then 2008 was like my first national. And then from there, I just kept bouncing around like local teams. Just trying to find my home. Yeah.
Well, really cool. You've been playing, don't act like you ain't been playing pro for a minute. That's a solid run you're at right now. You're at 12 years, 12, 13 years. And, you're obviously on a very successful team and you're a very successful paintball player. You haven't ever given up on yourself, and a lot of people might have in your situation, you know what I mean? And now look at where you sit. So it's just an homage to the power of self-will is what your story is, man. And people can really find a lot of value in listening to your words about your story because there's so many kids out there that want to do what you've done. You know what I mean? Yeah. And what Marcelo and myself have done, it's not an easy task, but what it does take is that drive and that passion. And that's what you've shown over the years. Always.
Dude, no, you said it best, right? For sure. Like it was relentless, dude. It was relentless.
Yeah. You know what I love about it too, Ronnie, is your story started out. I never heard that your dad didn't want you to play paintball. It's the same thing with my dad.
Really, yeah.
But what's really funny is your dad is now like one of your biggest supporters. He comes to all the events.
Dude,
Wayne is the man, dude. Wayne is the man, you know.
Shout out to Wayne, dude.
You know, you totally persevered and stayed dedicated and turned his entire mind around on the game of paintball.
Dude, the tournament that turned it around, dude, was 2018 World Cup because he was in the pits. Wow. And it was the first time he was ever in the pits. And then like I remember when we won that, I ran past all my teammates. I wanted to see him, you know? Like that was the person I wanted to see. I'm gonna cry.
Dude. Of course.
Dude, and you know what? When I hugged him, if you watch, there's like clips of it in one of my vlogs, my World Cup 2018 vlog. Like and subscribe. If you guys
Dizon Docs, subscribe to it right now.
Dude, if you watch that, if you hear me mumbling, what I'm actually saying to him, and it's crazy, not many people know this, is I said, this is the reason why I did all the things I did for paintball.
Whoa.
Like I said that to him and he's like, I understand. And I'm like, this is the moment. This is the reason I was looking for, why I picked up why would I drive to the paintball field? Why would I gave you so much crap about like not going to school to do this? Like these are the moments. And it flipped him upside down. And then he went to Thailand like a month later with us, you know? And
that was such a fun trip, dude. We had a blast out there.
Dude,
that gave me the chills a little bit, man. That's deep.
Dude, it was super deep, dude. And I can't share. That moment was just like, it's one of the best moments in my entire life. You know?
For sure. I can only imagine. Oh my God. That would be, I mean, I know my dad was with me, you know, through a big portion of my career. Yeah. And, you know, I know how that felt to me. So I can only imagine have my, you know, he wasn't like fully down until 2018. And then that happened. You had that connecting moment and it just broke everything wide open.
Dude,
Wow.
and it took, think about that. I started in 2008 competitive tournament.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude,
like,
that's crazy.
it took 10 years for him to realize, like, okay,
Yeah.
he actually
This
wants
is
to,
it.
like, he actually
Yeah.
likes this thing, dude.
Yeah. And you had won pro tournaments before that.
Yeah, and
So
it didn't
yeah,
even
let's
matter.
go. Let's yeah. He didn't get it. He's like, oh, cool, son. You
Good
know,
job.
yeah, nice,
Yeah.
good job,
When,
buddy.
Nice work out
when are you
there.
going back to school, Ron?
Oh man, that's hilarious.
We got to dip back. Yeah, we got to
yeah.
dip back a little bit.
100%. Let's go back to your divisional days. How'd you get noticed? You know, work your way up through the ranks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would play. So I'd play like random like Division II tournaments here and there, right? And then 2009 was like kind of like my first time playing like higher divisions, like Division II and stuff. And we got shit on. We literally got shit on. So 2010 came, and I was like starting to play like I jumped to Division II high. I was in Division II, and I just wasn't ready, right? So I jumped back down to D3, and I played with a bunch of different teams that year. Some of them was
why did you, if you don't mind me asking, why were you bouncing around?
I just didn't have a stable, like, so I had players who would play and like they weren't taking it like too seriously, and then I would like play on teams that were like taking it seriously, but it's just something about the program and the pricing. I just was kind of like, I don't know.
How common do you think that? Do you think that's a pretty common thing in divisional camps?
Yeah, I mean, I just did a clinic yesterday, and some kid came up to me and he was like, you know, he's still a lower division. He's like, hey, like, can I talk to you? I'm like, yeah, sure. And he's like, I'm not like really feeling like I'm, you know, I have players on my team that are dedicated. And this is to anyone out there. Like,
I hear that a lot too.
If your goal is to like play as high as you want in this, you know, or maybe go pro, and you have players around you who don't have the same equal mind, you know, long term, that's not going to work for you. Short term, sure, have some fun with your buddies, but long term, if you want to make it, like, you might have to not burn bridges, but you might have to leave some of your friends and find a new group of people who are around you, because whoever's around you, the energy that's going to create what you want. You know?
Absolutely. There's nothing more important than surrounding yourself with other powerful people. That's the only way you reach your dreams and your goals. You have to do that.
Exactly. And so at the time, and it wasn't that those guys weren't the same aspiration. I think at the time it was just a lot of money. It was really a lot of
which happens a lot. Yeah. If a team doesn't have good funding and sponsorship, you know, certain players can want to do all the things and make all the practices and travel, but they're not able to, you know, simply not able to afford it. There's so many things that go into play. You know, when I teach clinics too, or coach teams, that's often one of the most common issues is people just can't make ends meet financially to train as much as they need to, you know?
So
it's difficult.
I think we were talking two different things. I didn't have the money. Yeah. I just didn't, you know what I mean? And so the teams actually had the funding. They had the funding. Okay. I couldn't afford it. Like, it was like $800 for this event, $500. I was like, dude, I didn't have it.
There's no way. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well,
that's even more a testament to your will, man.
Seriously.
So I worked at a paintball field for a long time, that country club field that I'm, you know, Southern Dynasty guys at. And then slowly but surely what happened? So 2010, I was playing random divisional events. And then at the end of the year, it was towards World Cup, and actually approached me. And we was like right after our Badlands practice. And it was the first time I actually got to like play with pros against pros. So I was just standing on the sidelines. Okay. And I remember Aftershock was practicing, and Cody McCoskey and all them were there, and like everyone was there. And I was standing there, and they're like, hey, we need a fifth. And I'm like, I'll play. And they're like, yeah, come on over. And I'm like, okay. So then like I remember I like went to the snake off the break. I like shot like one guy, and then like that was it. Yeah. I played like 1 or 2 points, you know? And like all the people who were my friends,
they're like, we like this little guy. Let's get him.
For sure. All my friends who were like on teams with me previously were watching me, like, and they were like, okay, I was playing with the pros, right? They were like counter coaching me. Like they were almost like against my success of like being able to jump in with them, you know?
That's how it goes, man.
So I was like, whatever. And
crabs in a bucket. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. So I remember it was like, well, who are you playing with? And I go, you know, I got a few guys that I play with. And he goes, why don't you play with Distortion? And I'm like, oh, he's like, yeah, they just picked up Woodley, LJ, and then Collodion and some other guys that play on that team. And I'm like, okay. So I tried out for them, and LJ and Collodion. I don't know if you guys know Collodion.
I doesn't do sound familiar to vaguely. Me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So both of them were on Distortion, and I came and tried out with them for a weekend, and then they pulled me on for World Cup 2010. And we played against Aftershock all weekend long. And that was like with Tim Montrester, Sam Monville, like that Aftershock.
Yeah.
And we played for like 8 hours for like a day, dude, for like 2 or 3 days straight. It was crazy. And it was the first time I had a team that was like, just show up, paint's taken care of right now. Like, just play your best, you know?
Yeah.
And that was Randy Smith. That was, you know, and that's when I met Ryan Smith and all the distortion guys. And I remember, and I've said this a lot of times, I remember seeing those distortion jerseys and I hated them. Oh my God. I hated every single one because they had these like distortion print Gucci jerseys, right? And from my understanding, I was like, oh, like that team's like rich and they got like all these things that I was just so arrogant about. But like they would show up to the field, they'd have their brand new egos, brand new SL74s, and like every single person was like, let's fuck them up, you know? Like they have their matching jerseys, you know, and their matching guns.
Hold on real quick. This sounds just like the story with Ryan and Yosh versus Alex and Oliver.
Yeah,
it was the same thing. Ryan and Yosh they like worked at the paintball store. They weren't the group with all the money. And then like Alex and Oliver had all the nice new gear. They would show up every weekend with all their stylish stuff. And they were like, dude, let's fuck these guys up, man. Fuck these kids, you know?
I don't care. Like you got your matching jerseys, dude. You're about to get like, you guys are a legit team. Like welcome to the Thunderdome. Let's go.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Actually, dating back in 2009, we played them in like a local tournament and like 4-0'd them. And I was like, yeah,
there we go. Yeah.
There you go.
So,
and that's the passion you got to have that to win, man. Like people don't understand that. It really takes that deep driving will passion from the core, you know, to get that. Yeah,
dude, for sure. And it was like that competitive drive, you know, like a drive you're talking about.
For sure.
So, okay, practice with them. Mm-hmm. I remember that was like the first time that I could say like, oh, like I was like playing against like Greg Sewers and like Tim Montrester and like actually having chances to shoot these guys, you know? So I was like, dude, like this is it. This is the grind. Yeah. So we go to World Cup in 2010 and we got second. Nice. And that was the first event I ever played with them. And then
I'm sorry, Ronnie, if you already said, but what division was that?
Division 2.
Okay, cool.
And we lost that to 187 crew.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. They were working their way up at the time too.
Yeah. And they won like 3 events that year in Division 2. And then they bumped up to Division 1 next year. And we were like, you know what, let's stick it out in Division 2 another year. So we stayed in Division 2 and then we won World Cup that year in 2011. So following it, like, you know, we were like top 4 team in Division 2 and then we won World Cup in 2011. And that was the same year that we won the CXBL. And then that was the same year that I played for Aftershock for my first pro event, and we won that against Dynasty.
Dude, huge.
Wow.
So like the story just unfolds and it's just like, what? Like I remember I got called and they were like, come, you know, I go play Vegas with them. And then like we played Dynasty under the lights. And I was like, dude, what is going on with my career right now? Like,
totally. And this is NPPL too, right?
Yeah.
And NPPL Dynasty, that's their kingdom, you know. That was what they again reigned supreme in. So to beat Dynasty at the championship round in Vegas, you know, under the lights, that's pretty cool.
Wow. Dude, and nice. So like now we're telling the story. It's like to think back then, like I was just the kid who walked in and they were to the left of me. No idea who they were.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a second. Is that the same event? Well, it's the same game, I think, that Mouse was.
Yeah, wiped a loader hit.
Wiped a loader hit on his way to the snake on the break. Was that against you guys?
Yeah, so I remember this.
What was I think the jersey said a different name on it though. Wasn't that a different player?
It did. The jersey did say a different name.
Did it say Alex?
Yeah,
he was wearing Frazi's jersey.
That's true.
So, dude, Frazy, like the whole next year, all the refs were
were on it.
And Frazy was like, dude, that wasn't me. And they were like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, whatever,
dude,
buddy. Yeah, we saw.
That was one of the nasty. I know. Yeah, he got framed there.
Yeah,
it wasn't me.
100%.
Dude, that was one of the craziest wipes I've ever seen in my life, dude.
That was good. Ever. Like, if you, I don't condone cheating at all, but that was literally as good as you could do it.
If people listening, if you go to YouTube and type in HK Army Vegas 2011, it's in that video. It's in that video in slow mo. Cassidy got that. Sick.
Yeah,
100%.
Dude, man, HK Army's videos at that time too were unparalleled. That was Cassidy's work, all that stuff.
Bar, dude, set the bar. Everyone had to he revolutionized it, you know?
Yeah.
He was like, he put so much cinematography into that, dude. That was crazy back then.
Totally. Really good. Yeah. All right, dude. So you win a pro event against Dynasty. You got to be feeling pretty good about yourself, feeling like King Tut over there, dominating as a young buck. I definitely know what that feeling is like, being young, and same with Tyler. You know, we all three of us had really early success, and honestly, I think Tyler's the only one that handled it well. I think Ronnie, we'll get into it. You and I both kind of had our own little attitude things going on, and we had to learn lessons the hard way. You know,
I just got
and
my ass kicked too much by the gangsters. They're beating my ass.
He's a
Oakland
big gangster.
Assassin.
Yeah.
Oakland Assassin.
I was like,
taking no shit.
I'll just take a seat. I'll just sit here.
I'll never forget that serial killer's video with Bob, and he's like
Oh
talking
yeah,
to him, dude, and like
dude.
he's like coaching you like that, and I'm like, dude, that field looks so fun, like it looks so sick.
Yeah.
Like you're just right there, and like you guys are just grinding X ball points out.
People
at the time,
died out there. People literally, we had fatalities, dude.
Wow, dude. It was crazy. Then that was
it
really
was.
nice.
Yeah, it seems like so long ago, man. It's like, you know, almost like another life ago. I've had to like metamorphosize my whole style of play over the years. I started out as the shortest pro paintball player. I'm like the tallest one now.
Tallest one now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's pretty crazy to think
about.
100%.
So let's dig back in there.
Yeah. So so the next year, this is when everything kind of went crazy. Got a call back like that, you know, that next off season, and originally like I thought we were going to be Aftershock again, right? But that's when the Houston Heat thing started to come into play. That's when ideas were getting thrown around, and like rosters were getting like adjusted, and people were like, friendships were like getting destroyed, and like people were parting ways. So like realistically, half of the players went to Infamous, and the other half of the players went to Heat on that Aftershock roster. And it was just weird. Like everything was weird at the time. And show up like the next season on a flight to Texas, and boom, there's Fedorov, Mishka, Sergey, all these guys.
Yeah, but real quick, sorry, Ronnie, let's elaborate though. Houston Heat was being formed. That is one of the more well-known franchises now. It's one of the more decorated as well. So how did that come about? Because I think the start of Houston Heat is pretty important too. And so where was your connection with those guys?
Well, Randy at the time was actually, he was, had full control over the NPPL 7-man Aftershock team.
Okay.
So he brought LJ up because Ryan was playing on the team, Ryan Smith. Then he brought LJ up like mid-season for 7-man. And then the last event, which was Vegas, he brought me up. So here's us three there with Sloviak, Cody, who was on that roster? Sloviak, Cody, Druby, and I'm missing some. Oh, Chris Sosin. But that was the thing. Like, I'm initially like, between Sam Monville and Sarge, they were the ones kind of the trifecta of like building that team. And they were already tossing the idea around for the next season. And to be honest, like they were trying to get it. So like Druby and Sos were on Heat. Like it was going to be a completely different roster. People didn't make agreements, and people went to Infamous instead. Because Damien and all of them were forming their team on that side, you know? And that team obviously was very, very good. So with us, all I remember is this. I got a phone call from Randy, and he goes, if you had to pick 3 of the best players in the world to play with, who would you pick? And it was just, you know, this is right after we won Vegas, and I'm just like, I don't know, like Fedorov, Oliver, and like, I think I said J-Reb. And he said, okay. Hangs up the phone. Literally, like I said, a week or 2 later goes by. He goes, "Hey, I got a plane ticket for you to come to Texas. This is the team." And I'm like, "This is not the team." And I show up, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Like Fedorov's here, like all these people here. I'm like, "What the hell is going on right now?" But yeah, so they were on like working undercover and like working all the logistics of everything.
Cool.
But for me, on my personal line, I just got a phone call saying, "Who do you want to play with?" And I showed up, and Oliver wasn't there, but those guys were there. So.
And for people, for people who don't know, you know, people might not know that the deep history like that. Like you guys have been together for a long time. This has been a family for a long time.
Unbelievable. It's crazy to think about how like that's what like everything sparked that next year and changed my life completely. Yeah.
Well, you changed the paintball world too. You guys are one of the biggest names in paintball now. And you know, you probably never would have known that when he called you for that plane ticket, but here you are, you're sitting here and you guys have accomplished some really big things. It's amazing.
Dude, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, just the fact that like how fate and destiny led like me with those guys and how it kind of just transformed my life, like it really,
sure.
really revolutionized what I thought about myself, about what's possible. Because when people want to follow their dreams, there's so many excuses that get in the way,
Mhm.
and something I did was like, dude, I lost so many friends in high school. I lost so many friends that like I really were close with to paintball because I want, and not that it was a bad thing, but at the time I'm like, dude, all I want to do is play paintball,
Yeah.
And in high school, like all these guys would be, hey, come party. And I'm like, I don't want to, I want to go to the paintball field. I want to be there like all hours of the day. I loved it. And later on, and I realized like those same people who are saying paintball is stupid and stuff like that, like those are the same people sometimes who pat you in the back and go, wow, dude, I can't believe you made it. It's like, well, remember
100%.
when you were trying to not like hate on me, but like you guys were kind of not supportive of it, so
Yeah.
shoot.
100%.
That's all right.
All good.
This is real life. That's what we love about this show. It's
It's
real life.
Patty Gleason.
There we go.
Off the leash.
He's
Off
out
the
here. He's in my area.
Yeah, he is.
He's from AZ. Yeah, and that is so true, Ronnie. There are going to be people who don't really realize it's not like they're trying to hold you back, but man, they sure will if you say yes to the. There we go. Ronnie and
Off
the
the
YouTube's
leash.
got some branding. Little.
That's off the leash. That's an off the leash Dizon Docs hat coming.
There we go. Perfect. See the phone call. He was calling you to tell you to put your hat on.
That's what he was doing. Yeah.
But yeah, man, they don't realize that they might be holding you back, but it's up to you to make the right decisions. You can't blame or put excuses on anybody. It's up to you at the end of the day. Anything, one of the most empowering things I've ever done is take full responsibility for everything. Good, bad, ugly, great. Whatever happens to me is my responsibility. I did it to myself. Even if I didn't, it's empowering to, it empowers me to think that way. So you took life by the chains and you grabbed that son of a bitch and you rode it to the promised land. You know what I mean?
Dude, absolutely. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Promised land.
You did, bro. I mean, you guys got championships. That's the promised land. You guys have won trophies. That's where it's at. And you may not have got those trophies if you went and got crunked out, and ripped it all night and never made it home for practice. But look at, here you are.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, you look at a lot of the stories of the professional paintball players, especially the ones that have had a lot of success, and it's all very similar with the stuff they've had to sacrifice growing up. But that's with anything. If you have something that you really want to pursue, something that you care about, you do have to make sacrifices for it. But it doesn't even end up feeling like sacrifices because you truly want to do it. Like you said, you wanted to be at the paintball field. I know Tyler and I can say the same thing. We wanted to be at the paintball field. We want to be exercising, getting ready, preparing, watching film. These are things that I enjoy to do. It's not something that I'm forced to do. I want to do it, and it is hard sometimes. It can be draining and stuff like that, but that makes it even better, especially when you finally get the fruit from the tree, and you guys actually had a lot of success early that year. I was playing with the Russians. You guys actually won. So the first event was Galveston, but it got canceled because of the bad weather. Well, we played the prelims, right? And then the rest of the pro event got canceled, and we had to play our Sunday was it on Thursday or was it? Yeah, I believe it was Thursday in Phoenix. Yeah. And we played you guys in the finals, and I think you guys beat us in overtime.
We won. We lost the damage for Galveston. So we got second. Okay. And then we played you guys, like we played the whole nother tournament.
Okay. It was the Phoenix event that we.
Yes, Phoenix. Then we played each other in the finals. Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah. We lost in overtime. Is that correct?
I don't, because we played each other twice that event. We played prelims, I think, and then we played the finals. I don't know if it was overtime.
Marcelo has a memory like an elephant, dude.
Yeah,
I remember this because Sam Monville won a 2-on-1 against us to win the overtime point in the finals. I mean, I beat myself up for that because I was part of that too.
Let's go, Sam. Damn,
man, dude, that would have been essentially my first full tournament with the Russians, and to win would have been epic.
Of course.
Yeah.
So that stunk. Sam really stepped up. I remember he was in the corner in this like small little cake, and he just
dude.
Dude.
He put the ball like on the worst. Yeah,
yes, yeah. And then me. I mean, that's like a pretty hard 2-on-1 to
Dude.
win.
So maybe
and he
maybe
was
it's
in a
not that maybe it's not that you have a brain like an elephant. It was just super traumatizing.
Yeah, that too. It was definitely traumatizing, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we dropped the ball big time, and Sam stepped up. But that was your guys's a good weekend for you guys. You had a second and then a first, and I mean the rest is kind of history. How did the rest of the year go for you guys?
I mean, so realistically, like if you look at it, like I won World Cup the year before in Division 2, we won the CXPL, won Vegas, and then to go second, then first, and the PSP.
Damn.
I was literally like this. I was pinching myself. I'm like, there is no way this is happening right now.
Yeah.
Dude. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is unbelievable. What the like? What am I on right now?
Yeah, for sure.
So then we won 3 events, 3 out of the 5 events that year, including the World Cup. So we won MAO and World Cup after that. And we got like 5th in Chicago. We shit the bed on that one, but
So in your humble opinion, what is the key factor for people listening? What does it take to win, man? What is the sauce that you got to have?
Dude, there's not one thing, right? Like everyone has to be on the same page, right? On the team, everyone has to have the same work ethic and the desire and the mindset, right? The coach has to have a system where you guys can all buy into, right? Because if the team isn't buying into the coach, then there's going to be a mutiny, not the team mutiny. I mean, like actually,
Of course. Yeah.
Shout out to Mutiny.
Shout out to Tommy O.
Yeah.
So then with that, and I mean, besides that, I think the real big thing is practicing the right way, practicing the proper way and making sure that you guys are practicing the right things, right? Because a lot of teams go out there and they play points and they're like, all right, we're ready for the event. It's like, dude, you do drills, you break down the layout, you go to play the game podcast and you listen to every damn podcast you can to get every info you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
100%.
everything you can get, everything you could study, you treat it as if it's your professional career, even though you're a divisional player, right?
Yeah.
Because you're ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? You're ahead of the
Yeah.
curve than any other player you play against.
That's right.
I always put it like this with divisional players. In one breath, it's easy to say, well, we understand if you don't take it as serious, you're not getting paid. But what I say to these teams is you're paying to be here. Why not maximize your efforts? Like you're sacrificing more than I am to be here. You're paying. So why don't you want to win? Like do the little bit extra, do the right things and give yourself the best chance to win.
Do you think people use that as an excuse a lot? Like,
100%.
oh, well, we're not getting paid, so
100%.
For sure. Yeah.
People
That's
use
so funny, Marcelo. That is hilarious, dude.
so smart. Like I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal
for
that.
sure. That is great.
It's fact, I'm like, dude, what do you mean? Like this is my job. I kind of have to be here. I love it, and I'm working my ass off, but you're like, you don't have to be here. You're
you're like, to pay to be here.
Yeah. So do the extra stuff. And I know when I was coming up through the divisional ranks, like it was just a competitive drive that I had even before paintball. I just wanted to win. And so I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. And it's like, whatever I can do to learn, whatever I could do to give myself a little bit of an edge, I'm down to do it, and that's what it comes down to. And especially, for all of you divisional guys out there paying, $1,000 to travel to an event, paint entry, you're probably paying more than that, to be honest.
Do some push-ups at least.
Do some push-ups, don't let being tired be the reason you don't make Sunday. You're in your team's 2-1. You're playing your last prelim match. You go into overtime and you're exhausted and you get shot because you have a mental collapse. That sucks. Like you're not giving yourself a fair shake. Granted, I do know there are definitely some teams and players, they truly just want to go have a good time. And that's awesome too, and they really don't quite care to win. And that's totally fine. I love those guys. They're usually drinking beers in between games, having a blast. They're, cruising around the NFL
The
event.
thing I always say, Marshy, is like, if you're happy, then you're on the right path. That's the goal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. That's very true. We talk about that.
If you want to be
the
the best, then if you're not happy and you're not at the best, then you need to do something.
Yes.
If you're happy, then keep following that. But it's all about where your happiness level is and then take it from there.
Dude,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, that's
true.
true.
I think a lot of people I think the competitive people base their happiness on wins and losses, right?
For sure.
So when they win, they can attach themselves to it, but when they lose, then they can't attach themselves to the results because they, That's what's depressing to them, right? So winning for some people is what brings them happiness. But like Marcella said, there are so many people out there who just want to show up and be there. They just want to be a part of it, dude. They just want to be part of it, dude. Regardless if they win or lose, they're like, dude, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, 100%. Like the team we played with in Thailand. Shout out to the last.
Oh my God,
bro, those guys.
La Boya Philippines, yeah.
La Boya, that's right.
They wanted to be there, dude.
100%. They had a blast being there, and it was like, I remember, you were a little more on the same page. I was getting a little more upset with stuff, and you were like, dude, they're just having a good time. Like, oh man, you're right. Because we were playing with them, and there was like no structure. I mean, people were just running down the field, and I was like, what's going on? Wanted to be in control
drive Marcelo crazy.
No, but once I had the mind shift, I was like, you're right. Let's have fun.
Let's get back to that. There was a situation. Well, I actually had food poisoning the first day.
Oh yeah, no. This was really bad.
I had food poisoning. So like, it was like the final point. We were playing like Tim Montrester and Chad, and we were up on them. And then like, I remember like, there was a point in time where I collapsed like on the field. Like my knee dropped, and like I could not go another point.
Well, let's keep in mind you had food poisoning, but it was also 98 degrees and 110% humidity. I mean, it was some of the hottest weather that I've ever played in.
And I pushed myself as much as I could. I'm like, dude, Mars, I cannot play another point. I'm probably going to die. This is not a good idea. So I had to walk out of the pits and like just collapse on the ground. And I'm just on the ground like this, like holding my head. I have a headache. And in the corner of my eye, I'm looking, and I see Marcelo and our buddy Chris from Marcelo's team in Australia, Chris Austin. And they walk on the field, and I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, there's still another point, There's still like another point. I don't know what the score was. I think it was like 3-3 or 3 to, I don't know.
Yeah, it was a close game. I don't remember either. I'm pretty sure we were down at this point.
I think it was like 3-2. We were down. We were up 2-1 or 2-0 or something. And we're down 3-2. And I remember sitting there in a corner of my eye. I'm like looking, and none of them are going on the field. They think the match is over because I walked out of the pit. And Marcelo and Chris are on the field, and there's like 20 seconds left, 15 seconds. And I'm like in my haze, and I get up.
I'm yelling too.
I run over to the pits. I go, get out there. What are you doing? And Marcelo's screaming, yo, get on the field. And they're all looking at me like they don't know because they didn't understand because I was not on the field. They thought it was over. And then the game starts, and I see Chad and Tim just rush, stuff Marcelo, dude, stuff Chris. No. And Marcelo walks in pissed, dude. Now they're up 4-2, and there's like 10 seconds on the clock. Marcelo walks right past all of them, like spikes his gun. He's like, I'm not out here to get stuffed, dude. I'm not out here to get head. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God. And I almost grabbed like a gun and just ran out there with like no headgear on. Just like,
I mean, I was pissed because I thought that we gave up. I thought the guys just gave up. I didn't realize they didn't know. I had no clue. I'm like, dude, we're down. There's time to win the point. And I thought everyone just gave up on us. I was so mad. I was like, I couldn't understand why you guys wouldn't come on the field, And then I come in and I see you're dying. You're like dead, have to go to the hospital, I think.
Yeah.
And the other guys are like,
I've seen this, Marcelo. I've seen this one.
The other guys are like, we thought the game was over. And I was like, oh, I can't even really be mad. Like, oh my God, but what the hell, dude? Yeah, it's funny.
That
it is, dude.
Where do we even? How did we even get here?
Sorry.
He took us to Asia. Marcelo took us over there, and now we're here.
Okay. We teleported. Oh yeah, we saw Oliver there too.
We're talking about happiness and how competitive people attach happiness to winning, and and so is that the type of person you are?
In regards to,
do you think you're highly competitive? Do you think that? Yeah. So like if you guys lose, does it mess with you for a while, or is it something you can compartmentalize and get over?
It depends on the loss, right? It depends on the severity of the loss, or what. Like if it was something that was like we beat ourselves, something like that, or like it's like I can live with that because it's like it was up to us and we screwed. Like we lost it. It was like in Vegas, we lost to Revo in the quarters, I think, or something.
Yeah.
And that one was like, that was on us and we messed up, but when it's something like a stupid call or a penalty or something like that changes the outcome. Yes, I'm still taking responsibility, but it's just so frustrating to be able to go like one thing leads to another. And like, it's one or two small penalties or something like that. Those ones hurt a lot. And it's almost like, oh, like we let that slip because it's like two dumb things. Right. And I'm still taking that to heart. Right. But it's like, it almost just like burns you, right? It brands you,
For
and
sure.
you won't forget those ones,
Yeah, refing paintball's got to be so hard. I
So
mean, you got to be
stressful. So
kidding
especially
me.
on Sunday, dude.
Yeah.
Especially on Sunday. Because you dictate everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And, like,
hmm
you deciding to throw one penalty could cost somebody's entire
Yeah,
season, could cost like anything, depending on the situation.
for
So
sure. I think it has gotten a lot better. It was way worse back in the day. There was times where there was crazy stuff going on, and there was no way to bring it back. Now at least we have the capacity to bring it back, look at it, which is amazing. Huge shout out to Go Sports for that technology. But we're living in a whole new paradigm with film, which is really amazing. It used to be a whole nother ball game.
yeah, I mean, I remember instant replays were like something that we would like fantasize about, but now it's
Yeah.
possible. You know what I mean? So
hmm
Yeah, refing is extremely hard. I do think it's gotten much better though. I think the refs do a pretty damn good job, all things considered. I know
Sure.
I'm a pretty experienced paintball player, and I've had to ref even during my pro career when I was playing with Aftermath in 2009. Mike Hinman owns the league, and he would make us ref his events.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would miss calls, and I'd be like, damn, I don't know. I think it's a trade. You're both out,
Yeah.
and then they're yelling at me, and I'm like, shit, dude, I was really trying my
I mean,
hardest.
Dude, if you think about it, those guys are out there, right, for so long, right?
Yeah.
And
Just
like, if you think
cooking.
about us right now in the state of, civilization and life as it is right now, our attention spans are so short, even shorter than ever, that how am I like this guy who's been standing in silence for 9 hours and it's the last match of the day? How like this guy really just wants to go home, and he's gonna ref it, but like realistically, he may just be like, yeah, you're out. You're both out. Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
you're both out.
And it takes a lot of drive and a lot of heart to be able to like those guys love paintball more than we do. Let's be honest. Like those guys are there at all times of the day.
I'm not going to agree with that.
Yeah,
but
I don't think they love it as much as I do.
but I know they love it. I do agree.
Yeah.
They're in it for different reasons, and we need them. We need good refs. We absolutely need good refs, and they do love the game. And some of them really treat their job with a lot of integrity. And they do a good job. But then some take, it's abuse of power. Kind of relatable to what's going on, but it happens.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Do you guys remember Boogie? He was my favorite of all time.
Oh, of course.
Boogie's
an OG.
Yeah,
Boogie's
man.
an
There's
OG,
some
man.
like old videos of like Boogie you could probably find on the internet. He had the crazy mop hair thing that he would wear.
Yeah.
It was the best. He's such a good ref.
You remember Boogie, Ronnie?
I remember hearing
watching,
about it, and
yeah.
I seen him covering that like thing. I don't know if I directly interacted with him.
It might have been before your time.
He was probably doing his thing like when you were first coming in, and he was probably just getting out right about that time. Yeah.
So let's jump back into 2012, if you don't mind, Ronnie. You guys, like you said, you won 3 out of the 5 events, World Cup being the final one. That was epic. How did things go moving forward? And then I definitely want to get into, your time back with Aftershock, how that all transpired and kind of shifted your mindset, and then coming back to Heat, winning MVPs, and then how you started traveling internationally.
All right, what's first again?
It's all chronological, baby. So,
okay.
End of 2012.
Yeah, so we won the World Cup that year, and then the next year, obviously, the expectations, especially after you win a World Cup, are so high. You don't get higher than that, and now everybody's ready for you. Every team is giving you their best game, right? Which they always should, but it's just the mentality of playing the top dog. You're like, we're gonna knock them off their throne. You know what I mean?
Always.
And we lost. We lost a lot of events actually in 2013. We only won Chicago, I'm pretty sure, and that was the first year I went over to play Millennium too. So we were playing Millennium, and we were just going back and forth. I think Ryan actually played with us in 2013 with Heat over in Millennium. So just experiencing that and playing that and traveling, like that was the year that I started getting into like traveling to Europe and playing, traveling all over the US and playing. It was like full bore, full steam ahead. But the year itself was not a good year for Heat. We won like one event, like I said. 2014 comes along, and this is when the Russians decide to leave and form our Chaos. So we filled those spots with Tim Montresor, Ryan Moorhead, and Greg Sewers. And then that year was more of a roller coaster than the year before because we got relegated the first event.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, this is
relegated
when we had champs and challengers.
dude, yeah, and like
Yeah.
that's when I got so champion challengers was like pro and like pro 2. So if you like lost, and for the people who are listening, if you lost that event, you still had to play one more match between another team that did very badly, and you guys battle it out, and whoever wins stays in the pro division. Then and then the other team has to play in the pro 2 division, which is like just demoralizing, like you almost it was bad.
Yeah.
So you lose a relegation game, and then we had to play like in the Pro 2 bracket. We won that. We came back up. We got second place in Chicago against Impact. And the next event after that, we play another relegation game against Dynasty,
Yeah.
and that's when we relegated Dynasty. And a
Yes, I
1-point
remember that.
crazy game. And then then the next event we got relegated again. Like we literally got relegated again. So like 3 relegation matches or whatever,
Yeah.
did awful that year. And then we got relegated, and then the next season is when I got cut. So like I got cut right after that event, pretty much. 2014, end of 2014, right after World Cup.
And why did that transpire?
So they were already making roster changes, and they were getting rid of myself, LJ Woodley, Nick Sloviak, and Keith DeVitt. And the reason is one of them was because the Russians were coming back, including Malloy.
Oh wow.
But the reason, and I didn't find this reason out until later. I thought maybe it was my skill level, right? Maybe they wanted to replace. I mean, if on paper you're trading me for like Malloy, you know what I mean? Like he's a Hall of Fame player, and that's what I thought. I thought it was my skill level, but what I later found out was it was just the maturity level of myself at the time. I didn't really fully get it. I didn't understand it until like 3 years later,
And sorry, how old are you right now for all of our listeners?
27. So at the
Okay.
time, I was early 20s. I was kind of just like, whatever, let's go,
Yeah.
Especially
Kinda
having a lot of success early, man. It's like I said, this is where we kind of relate. I got cut from the Ironmen in 2008, right after winning a world championship with them, and it definitely wasn't my talent or my skill level. It was more attitude and maturity.
Yeah, and I think that was me too. I was kind of a follower at the time of certain people, and I was really in a weird place in my life. And I didn't
As
realize,
most of us are when we're 20,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I was so
Yeah.
blind. I was blind to it, right? So
Yeah.
2015 came along, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I know I wanted to play with LJ, right? So LJ and I were kind of trying to figure out team situations, and I think we tried to go to the Ironman.
Yeah.
And that didn't work. You were on the team at the time with Mouse, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we were trying to figure something out, and then we landed on Aftershock. We landed on Aftershock, and we were actually going to go to a few other teams, but we landed there, and we kind of were like, dude, we kind of have control on this team, and we can start to build something that Jason Trojan kind of built us as players. So we kind of tried to use that, and he ingrained a lot into me.
Yeah.
Just as
Trojan's the man.
Just as Bob did to you, Tyler, or Hinman did to you, Marcelo, like Trojan was my Hinman, my Bob, he taught me everything I know when it came to like actually playing at the pro level. So I was trying to take those lessons and apply them to some of the players on Aftershock who didn't necessarily have that, or like didn't have the proper guidance in their younger careers to build a foundation. So that year we played, and then we got third at World Cup in 2015, and we actually played you guys, and you guys 7-0'd us, and that's the event you guys won against Heat.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of the best events I felt I ever played, and it was crazy because that was the World Cup that like kind of set the tone for Aftershock going into the next year, right? And then 2016 came along, and we decided to pick up like 4 more people. So we picked up Carl Markowski, Drew Templeton, Zach Patient, like one of the other Bargas, or I don't know what it was, but at the time on paper, like that roster was ready to fuck. Like that roster was hot, you know what I mean? And then I think there was just a case of too many Chiefs and not enough Indians. You had a lot of commanders and not enough people listening. And that was the demise of that Aftershock roster because everyone started going like people went.
It went crazy,
dude. I people didn't like. I'll be honest, and I'll call them out. Like I went to practice every weekend, 2 days every weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe during the week, and not. I want to say maybe 5 people showed up all year. for practice unless it was a mandatory.
Oh my God.
Unless it was a mandatory layout, dude. Unless it was a
Yeah.
mandatory. If it wasn't a mandatory layout, nobody was there. I was there by myself. So that's when I started getting into like doing clinics and stuff and like just training like the local people. And nobody really ever showed up. Like AJ Lawhead would come when he was, when he could, because he was in Michigan, and he would show up when we planned it, but people wouldn't come. And towards the end of the year, the roster went from like 10 people to like 6 people or 7 people. We barely had anybody on the team because everyone would quit. Nobody wanted to be there. It was bad.
Yeah.
But what I did was, and this is a lesson, I continued to think in my head, the reason why I wasn't on Heat is because I was not good enough. So I was just tweaking and dialing and tweaking and dialing and just getting everything precise. So like anytime I got the opportunity to play in front of the main stage, I'm going to give it everything. I'm going to give it hell,
Yeah.
It's the best thing that ever happened to you.
I felt like I was getting better and better and better. And then 2017 was coming around, and I was like, I'm going to depart from Aftershock now. After World Cup, I didn't know where I was going to land. I was actually trying to lock something in with Damien and Infamous. I was actually almost one step away from doing it. And then I got a phone call from, here he comes again in my life. And he goes, hey, do you want to be back with the boys? And then I was like salty almost. I was like, I don't know. Should I go back to the team that cut me? I'm like, you know what? I want to be, I think that's where I want to be. I think in my heart, that's where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And
dude, shout out to That guy's the man. Let's talk about for a second. So how did you guys meet?
So he actually, thinks that he met me this way, and he keeps telling the story. He was doing a clinic with like two of these people. Drew Templeton and him were doing a clinic with these 2 people in they're from like Venezuela or something, or Mexico, and they were at that local field country club. And I was doing drills that night at the same time, so I decided to hop in with them. So that's what saw. He's like, dude, this kid's out here doing drills by himself. Like he clearly wants it. I felt like I met way before that, just being around the Midwest team, but I probably wasn't relevant to him because I was probably just another kid.
That's funny.
So but his first impression of me was I was doing drills by myself, which thank you. Like, great. Awesome. Glad I was doing drills that night. So that's how I met and then like, I don't know, just kind of on and off, like being on CXBL teams and being, back and forth with that. But so fast forward, I get the call back, and, I felt that was the right move, and I felt in my heart it was. And I wanted to know things. I wanted to actually talk to Sarge and these guys, and just I wanted to know reasons of why I was cut, right? I wanted to know like I wanted to do it again. I wanted to another chance at it,
Yeah.
And
It's a beautiful love story, dude. It's like,
it's really what it is.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate, them considering to even take me back,
Yeah.
And what they said was, and what I talked to Sarge about was he saw the difference in myself after 2 years of maturity. He saw that I was trying to make things happen regardless of my situation on Aftershock, and I stayed loyal to that team. I'm always a big believer of staying loyal, and everything in life. And that's what I kind of built on and learned. The lesson I learned was to just, be loyal, be mature, take responsibility.
That's right.
That's why I got cut before. I didn't take responsibility, and
what a camp, man. What a camp that Randy and the family has built. What an outstanding gentleman that guy is. He's a world-class dude. You guys have really built something special, and, it wouldn't be the same without you, Ronnie. You're a huge component of that success over there. So, it just, sometimes it takes time. It takes time for the chips to really fall where they're going to be destined to fall. And you can't rush it, and you can't question it. You got to just dig in like you did and go capture it when it's ready.
That's what it was. Like when I got cut, a lot of people could have said that, that was it. Like just do something. I was almost like, okay, maybe I should quit. I don't know. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But at the time I was like, I can't quit the sport, dude. I got more for this. I got a lot more for this,
It's who you are.
Yeah. And
I mean, you came back to Heat, won an MVP, won the tournament, and also have 2 more World Cups under your belt since then.
Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable how everything was laid out. But there's still a lot more, there's still a lot more.
Yeah, of course. Always got to stay hungry.
Dude.
Yeah.
So was it 2017? I think it was 2018 you won the MVP, right?
2018 Dallas.
18 Dallas. Yeah. That was it. You played a great event. You played over on the snake side that event. You usually play on the Dorito side. You went and dominated in the snake, changed it up a little bit. And you just I think that's another thing is your game is really evolved because you were always a really aggressive player, but now you've started to bring some intelligence to it and slow it down a little bit when necessary. So you have different speeds now rather than just one speed, always go, which is, that's very easy to shut down. And that's something that a lot of front players struggle with, like when Mouse and even Chad George, when they really reached the next level of their career was when they learned how to slow the game down, instead of always being that aggressive force that on Sunday, good teams and good players, good coaches, they learn how to stop. And then that fast player can't figure out how to play another speed. They become irrelevant, right? And so when that finally clicks for front players, that's when they become extremely dangerous because you don't know what speed you're going to get. Yeah, very dangerous. It's like a fighter. A fighter has to have a good jab, has to have a good sidestep, and then has to have that powerful knockout punch. It's very important for front players. So I think you've started to build that, really well.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I kind of I did a clinic yesterday with Yaya, and in the clinic and all my clinics, I always say like it's like a big filing cabinet, right? Like Marcelo, Tyler, your guys' filing cabinets are gigantic, right? We're talking skyscrapers, But somebody who just started playing paintball, their filing cabinet's probably the size of my desk, maybe.
Yeah.
And what they have in it is one file that says, okay, paintball marker with hopper and loader and tank. The next one is like, tournament paintball, like the first checklist on the checklist is like run to Dorito, you know what I mean? Like how to hold gun left-handed.
Don't forget to fill my air.
Yeah, exactly. Fill air, like turn on hopper, things like that. Right.
Right.
But as they start to play better, they're and get experiences and all these references, their file cabinet just grows. You're stuffing files in there. So when you look at it, like my filing cabinet when I was on Heat the first time was half the size, maybe like a quarter the size of what it is now. And then after all the paintball and all the experiences, dude, that thing is just going to grow and grow and grow. And now when you teach clinics and help people out, like you guys are just giving them files, you know what I mean? And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think your filing cabinet probably grew quite a bit when you went back to Aftershock and assumed a leadership role. That's an entirely different ballgame, which is why I want to get into playing overseas because I think it all kind of happened around the same time. You went back, played with Aftershock, then you came back to Heat and you were already playing overseas, but you're playing with Houston Heat before that. So it's a little different. I always tell players, when you get a chance to go and play overseas, and it's just you and you're trying to lead and teach a team and go over game plans and get across these complex ideas to players that aren't as experienced as you. That is what really makes players evolve and understand the game at a whole new level, And so I've watched you kind of take this path and you see it on the field. Like you're just a much more well-rounded player. You understand so much more of the game than you did before. And I attribute a lot of it to you going back to Aftershock and having to be in that leadership role and having to worry about the players around you instead of just what you're doing. You had to worry about the entire game plan. You had to be mindful of all of the things that are going on if you guys wanted to have a chance to win because you were the most experienced. So you had to be in that role. And going overseas is the exact same. And I'm not sure when it was. Was it 2018 that you first went to Australia with Marauders? I feel like that was your first big adventure overseas to lead a team.
Yeah, 2018, I went over there with the Marauders. Tim actually hooked me up with them because they were playing with them and they couldn't make the event or something. And I remember going over there and I'm like, okay, Marcel's got his team, like, Expendables with Ryan and Yosh. Like everything was just like, it was awesome. It was like, dude, sweet. Like I'm so excited for this,
Mm-hmm.
And I went out there and I met all the guys. And then to me, I was like, okay, like my brain started turning and I'm like, okay, some of the years like are clicking together of like, okay, having to figure out what our people are going to do, like the clinic days, everything that I've like to teach these guys, everything I know, as well as play, it was just all coming out. And I'm like starting to learn and experience like, okay, what people are capable of, what they aren't. Like you really have to learn how to read people and what their abilities are, especially if you're playing alongside of them. Right.
Absolutely.
And then I remember going over there and I'm like, listen, like some people go overseas and they just play to play and like they want to win, but like they're just going over there to play. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for you, Marcelo, and myself, and with those Australian events, dude, we go out there and we go to win and we go like hard at it. So when I went over there, I was like, I didn't really know what the whole play time situation is for some of the guys. So I feel bad, maybe some of the guys didn't get as much play time, but I came over there because I wanted to help them win. I wanted to help them experience the win. So like I went out there and I tried to give everything I could. I give it hell, And when we played teams like you guys and stuff, I'm like, okay, like, let's go, dude. I'm excited. Let's get this, like
Mm-hmm.
everyone get on the same page. Everyone, like, I just wanted to elevate everyone around me. I wanted to be their Oliver,
Right. Of
just like
course.
Oliver is TL. I wanted to be their Oliver and be that spark plug to like, let's fucking get it, And I think it showed because like the first event I played with them, we got a second, then we got a third, then we got a first. And I'm like, dude, this is like, I love that. And then ever since then, I've been addicted to just playing with other people who like need that guidance. You know what I mean? It's a ton of fun. So yeah,
Marcelo always tells the war stories about being over there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Australia is to me, it's the third biggest league in the world. You have obviously NXL in the US, and then you have NXL Europe, and then in my opinion, Australia is the third. And it's it's so competitive, because the Australians have gotten so much better. Each team is allowed one pro on the field at a time. So majority of the top good teams have a top level pro now. And so it's extremely competitive and it's kind of personal, it's like, it's me versus you, obviously we have our teammates around us too, but it's still personal.
It's like you're shooting one way. It's like, who did I shoot? It's like, okay, he's still out there. He's still out there, dude.
100%. And it's, it's funny because a lot of times when I travel internationally and I hear, a team will be like, oh, JC's coming down. Damn, like he's a really good player. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that means they're going to play really good. It takes a certain kind of player to succeed overseas. It was kind of like same thing. I think it was the end of 2017. It was DMG was semi-pro, but they had just won the entire semi-pro division and they came over to play with their whole team in Australia. And everybody was like, oh my God, it's going to be so hard to play them. So hard to play. I was like, it's just a whole lot different. I don't know how they're going to acclimate to 15 balls a second, to the reffing, the field's not even like perfect dimensions. You know how it is. You've been over there a few times. It's different. It's a different style. It's a different play.
I agree.
Totally, so it's unique. I always give advice. This is for the players that are in the upper divisions, a Division 1 player, semi-pro player, something like that. If you get a chance, go and play internationally with a team and try to be their leader, because it's going to help you grow a ton and it's going to help you pursue that path to a professional team in the US, because you're going to mature as a player, both on and off the field. It's really good advice. And if you guys are listening and you are, trying to work your way up through the ranks and you have an opportunity to do that, maybe here in the US, you're on a team, you have a coach and you follow the system, you do what you're told, you just try to do your part, stuff like that. Go try to be a leader on another team and try to lead guys, because it's going to help you grow into a better player.
I'll co-sign that. I'll co-sign that for sure.
Absolutely.
That's big facts. Yeah. Because it's going to breed you. It's going to teach you. It's going to put you in situations that you don't want to be in, but you're going to have to do something about it,
Totally.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, and shoot, if you are a lower division player and you have an opportunity to travel across the world, do it no matter what.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Co-sign that as well.
Get out there and shake your tail feather and try and make something of yourself, man.
Yeah. I do.
I want to see a peacock.
Branching off of that for like people who are a lower division player, and this is gonna be my field. Start something media wise,
yes.
So there's this club / team. I don't. It's more of like a club / family / team in this area called Free Parking Paintball. Okay.
Nice.
And their whole thing is, and their whole mantra is, no toxic people in this organization, right? Mm-hmm. The one thing that we do is when you go to a paintball field, if you see a free parking logo, which is what they want to create, like it's basically like the Monopoly man with like Uzis, regardless. It's really
sounds pretty tight.
Yeah. So, and they just got hooked up with HK. So shout out to HK.
Yeah, HK. Let's go. Buy HK.
Buy HK. Their whole thing is, if you come to a paintball field, right, and you don't have a team, and how many times have you seen a kid who shows up, he wants to play team practice, but he doesn't have anybody.
For sure.
Four other guys who he does never met in his life, he has to go play with, like he doesn't know. So the whole thing is, if you see that, like, you're welcome, you're welcome here. It's almost like a symbol of like, hey, you don't have a squad, we got you, we'll put you in 5. So, but their whole thing was like, they were asking me, how do we continue to build this message, this brand? I go, dude, start making videos, start making content, podcast, YouTube channel, put yourself out there, because there's kids out there. Shout out to Matty Boy. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I wouldn't if it weren't for his social media presence, but he's so good. He puts up great videos. I follow him and I'm like, yeah.
His YouTube channel.
I don't even know what division he plays.
his YouTube channel crushes Go Sport numbers. You know, like he's
Yeah.
putting out 100,000 views every upload. You know what I mean? And he's killing it because he took advantage of something like social media. You know, and that helped his brand. Even though he's not a pro player, even though he's not, high up in the divisions, dude, that kid has full control over his audience and his fans and his people because he's jumped on the social media wagon. So
Yeah.
that's why I think.
And I will say, being in a lower division gives him a little bit more of a leeway to do things that maybe a pro player can't do.
Right, correct. He can actually make a review on something and not be biased because of a sponsorship or something like that, right?
Well, also just like, I know that he gets pretty wild on there and does some pretty crazy things. They have some controversial stuff going on in there.
Sure.
I can't do that kind of stuff.
Oh,
You know what
really?
I mean?
I don't even know like what.
Yeah.
A lot of what I've seen
there's
is
just
like game footage.
people getting shot to pieces and just like things like
dude,
that.
Ryan does that at all of his clinics.
Yeah, but he doesn't put it on the internet. That's
yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Not he's not getting 100,000 views. But what I'm trying to say is there's just it's a different aspect being a high caliber sponsored pro player as opposed to a divisional player, which is a great thing. It gives you an opportunity. I'm not saying anything bad about it. You have an opportunity here, and we have different opportunities that he doesn't have because of our position. But it's just seeing things for how they are and what it is. But yeah, any divisional player, you need to be starting right now. You need to be getting a social media platform going right now, this second. As soon as you get off this show, you should be building it.
If you have an iPhone and you have an
go
Instagram,
on the phone, exactly.
Yeah.
Start pumping.
If you're on the YouTube channel, I'm holding up my iPhone. So get your Play the Game podcast phone case, and then download Instagram and start your account today.
Shameless plug. Dude.
Shameless.
Yeah, and it's the truth. It's the most valuable thing you can possibly do right now.
Dude, most of everyone has a smartphone nowadays. So, dude, and the people who are against social media and like not posting, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? If you're trying to make it like you want to get your name out there, you know what I mean? Like, and if you're not getting the results you want and you're not doing this, it's like, okay, well, you clearly got to change something, you know? So start putting yourself out there. Don't be afraid to be in front of the camera. Don't be camera shy. Everybody's the same way, you know?
They're the same people that refuse to give up their flip phone when all the smartphones were coming out, and they're like, "No, I like my simplicity with."
Well, the thing is,
with my T9 texting,
this is the new TV. This is the TV now. You know,
dude. Yeah, 100%.
The TV's gone. This is the new TV. So if you're trying to get your face out somewhere, this is the television now. Get it out there.
Yeah, it's
people's faces are buried, so get in front of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, can you kind of elaborate on vlogging and everything that goes into that process? I know you have a successful vlog with Dizon Docs. Sure. Maybe some things that people should know before they go down that avenue, some little tricks and tips.
I think the one thing is people stress so much. So I've had a lot of people hit me up and they go, "What's the best camera? What's this?" I'm like, dude, just use your phone. Just go. The best camera. This is a thing in the camera field. The best camera that you have is the one that's on you, you know?
Yeah.
So if all you got is your phone at the time, dude, start documenting everything. In my eyes, to make a vlog, because you have two reasons. One, because you never know what you're going to use when you make a video. And you need to make a story for that day. So for vlogging, I think the video has to have a story. When you watch a movie, it has a story. So the same thing goes when you're making a vlog. So maybe today you dropped a coffee mug, you know? Yeah. Make the story about that. Like I smashed a coffee mug and almost cut my foot. Like, and then just show your day, you know, because they're going to be like, okay, when does this part happen? You know what I mean? So exactly. Your Play the Game coffee mug, Play the Game podcast coffee mug shattered. You need to buy a new one. So you went on playthegamepodcast.com. Exactly. So with that is like, first start documenting those. Second, dude, when you grow old and you look back at it, dude, you're going to have volume. Like I have volumes of years,
dude.
Where I can just be like, yo, like to my grandkid, like, yo, check this out. Like you need to see this. Like, this is when I don't have to tell you back in my day story. I can just show you this video that I made, you know?
Yeah.
And it's valuable in that aspect, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And some people may not like the whole vlogging thing in their life. Well, maybe start a podcast, you know, like, but for vlogging, especially, like just get out there, document as much as you can, and then start to piece things together and just start uploading. So,
well, you know, Ronnie, something that you didn't quite touch on yet, but you and I have definitely talked off air. Tyler and I have a huge passion for it. what you do with your vlogs, and I've told you this for a long time, is great for all of that. Everything you just said, but it's also so great for paintball.
Yes.
If we want the sport of paintball to grow, more people need to be excited about it. Bottom line. And so that's a huge driving force behind the podcast with Tyler and myself. I know that I've spoken with you about it. I know it's a huge driving force for you as well. And we need more people doing it. You know, that's why Maddie's getting 100,000 views on his thing. Like, cool, dude. I want eyes on paintball. Hopefully he's doing it in a good light. I guess I haven't seen all of his videos. Hopefully he's not, doing anything too bad.
He's doing it in a good light. It's just all I was saying is,
gotcha. It's a little wild.
He's having fun.
Hey, that's what gets views. That's what gets views.
Totally. But like, Marky, Mr. H with HK, what they do is amazing. Quitman, all of their videos. This is stuff that the public can see for free. Kids that are on YouTube, they're on their phones more than ever. They can stumble across some paintball stuff and be like, whoa, what? They could stumble across your vlogs, see you traveling to France, winning a big ass trophy,
give them something to
champagne.
Aspire.
Yeah. They're like, oh my God, what? I want to do that. He's on a private jet, and you don't want to mislead people too. You're one of the fortunate ones with your team and your organization.
Sure.
And it's a small percentage that do make it to that part, but the stuff that paintball has done for us, the friendships that it's given us and the relationships we've built, the things we've learned, the travel, you name it, it's priceless. We talk about it over and over, and we will continue to continue talking about it on this show and anytime we're in front of a camera, because that is the most valuable thing paintball has done for me, is the experiences, the relationships, the life lessons that you can't buy no matter how much money you have.
No.
I am who I am today solely because of paintball. Truly, paintball is such a big part of who I am. And you guys too. We're paintball players through and through. And I want people to experience that, and they get to through your vlog. They get to through our podcast. They get to through our Instagrams, and that's why I've had talks with different pro players. They're like, all right, why do you post so much, bro? I'm like, well, dude,
why don't you?
Yeah. Well, one, I'm building a business. Yeah. Two, I'm spreading the love of paintball, which is great. And three, why are you an asshole? Seriously, like, it's not about being into yourself. I don't do it for the likes. I don't do it for that. It's not this vain thing. It truly isn't. It really is, again, trying to focus on building a business, building my brand, being valuable to my sponsors, being somebody that is marketable, being something that can inspire kids as well. That's a path that I've chosen a long time ago. I get true joy, and it's a major reward to be able to inspire somebody, even if it's at a very low level, something so little that might make somebody's day or make them look at something a little differently or give them a little bit of hope that they can achieve something too. That's it. That's all I need. We have that opportunity. And so when I see pro players that are really quiet and not doing that, they're doing themselves a disservice. They're doing the sport a disservice. And it just kind of stinks, And so I really do wish more were doing what you're doing, Ronnie, and what Tyler does, and what some of us does, what Ryan does. Ryan is fantastic at it. He's probably the godfather of, I don't know how his fingers go so fast. We were driving home, dude, Tyler, we were driving home from the field when we were out in Arizona, and
no hands
on the steering wheel. Oh, he literally won't rent a car unless it has autonomous driving. And he's no hands on the steering wheel, just firing off posts. I'm like, but he gets it too, obviously, it's a full-time career for him. So
I think the growing the paintball thing through media and the power of media is what really, really separates pro players who really love the sport versus pro players who like just play the sport, right?
Just want to get something out of it.
That's what I'm saying. And you guys have this all the time. I'm sure you get direct messages, private messages from people who said, I started playing, or I started playing again because of you, because of this piece of media you did, or this. The ones I get the most are like, dude, I watched one of your videos and then I watched the next one. And then I had to start from the beginning and watch them all. And just to see your story and watching all these things, like I bought another gun. I started playing again. Like those are the ones that's like, hit home, baby.
Totally.
That's right. That's what it's all about right there, man. When you get those messages, everything makes sense. You're on your right path. And it's life-changing. We have such a ripple effect on so many people. We have no idea the amount of the ripple that we're putting out into the universe. Every time we make a show, every time we make a vlog, these little bits of kernels of knowledge that are put out there, they're life-changing. And like the little high five you give at the field, the little details are what make this grand picture of paintball and this game so amazing that we play. It's pretty astounding when you think of it and sit back on it.
Dude, yeah, it really is. The power that we have and the fact that we're helping grow. So this is why I'm going to call it all the pro players again.
Let's go. Call them out. Get them out.
Personal thing. There is at least one pro player on every team, at least, that wants to do something that's a Marcelo or a Tyler, that wants to be in the face and the light and wants to like start documenting and showing these things. There's always one, and they might be too shy to say it, and they might feel like they're not entitled to because maybe they're on a lower tier pro team and they don't want to like, oh, if I do that,
those stories are even better. Like the struggle of trying to win in the pro division. Like, tell those stories, man. Those are great stories.
That's what I'm saying. Like but I feel like they're feeling judged, right? Because like maybe one of us are going to be like, "Who's this guy doing this?" Which is never the case. You know what I mean?
Well, and some people do. You know what? That's the thing, though, Ronnie. Some people do, but who cares? Do you believe in what you're doing?
The better.
Yeah,
we need mass. We need a lot. We need more formats. We need more people in the game. We need more people playing the game, filming it, everything.
Abundance, dude. Abundance. Yeah. And for those pro players who want to start something or do something, I'm specifically talking to the pros because we can relate to them.
Yes.
Go do it, dude. Just start pumping it, bro. Like
this is your permission.
Yeah, this is your permission from like some of the people.
Let's go.
Some of the people who have the biggest followings in paintball, like with Marcelo and Tyler here, like, dude, just go do it, bro. Like,
do it.
You got us, dude.
Totally. Yeah. I want to give a major shout out to Brandon Unger of Seattle Thunder. I don't know if you follow him, but dude, you know what? Like, I love what he's doing, man. It's engaging. It's exciting. It's good for people. People are learning from him. They're kind of seeing his journey. He's not a well-known pro.
I moved out to Arizona. He's my neighbor out here now. Yeah, so dude, I've been working with him lately the last couple weeks.
He actually messaged me. I actually messaged him. There was this company called CFit. It's a sea cucumber company. Him and I were working together with him. And he's like, yeah, I know Brandon Unger. So I called Brandon and I'm like, hey dude, we need to get I need, if we're going to help this brand grow, like you need to start pumping your social media. Right. And he's like, oh, I want to. And then like a year later, dude, look at his account's growing. He's posting on his Instagram stories. He's making workout programs for players. He's doing things to help paintball. And yeah, that's a great example. Huge example. Yeah. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out Unger. Let's go. Unger Games. That's his Instagram.
That's him,
you can check him out over there. And he's a great dude, great for the sport, really passionate. He's young. He's 24 years old. He's going to have a long career if he keeps this up.
Yeah. Shout out to him. It's _Unger_games. Check him out. Yeah. 100%. Check him out and give him a follow. Again, I do support what he's doing.
77
at the end. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, nice. And one bit of advice. We need to make your Instagram name very
easy,
accessible.
Yes, 100%. I also told him too. I was like, dude, you need to start explaining, because I had no clue what Ardor meant, and I guess it's it is something that represents hard work and dedication, right? I thought it was maybe that's his fitness brand. He's been wearing it in a lot of his shirts and stuff when he's doing these trainings, and he has a Ardor Instagram account too, I think. But I was like, what does that stand for? What does it represent? Is it a family name or what? And he's like, well, actually, it's another word for, determination, hard work, grit, something like that. I was like, dude, start telling people about that, like share that, man. Come on, you gotta, it's the next level. So, guys, don't be concerned with what, look, there's two parts of it, right? I do also, in the same breath, if you are a professional player, your main thing needs to be focusing on your craft and being the best that you can be, 100%. Don't sacrifice that, but you can document it at the same time. And don't worry about what other people are saying, man. Get that demon off your chest. Get it out of you. Get it off your back, because it's not real. It's not real. The people around you that care about you, that are your friends and that support you, that's all you need to engage with. That's the only thing that matters. And there's plenty of those people that are going to boost you for the things that you're doing that's good in this world. Totally. The whole cool boy mentality, cool guy, cool girl, like, screw that. You don't need that, truly.
Follow your heart, man. Follow your heart. Your mind is a trickster. It'll trick you. It'll play tricks on you if you let it. If you listen to your heart, though, you're going to be okay. And if you follow your passion, you'll never go wrong.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, that's it, baby. Hey, so speaking of that, what inspires you to keep pushing today, right now, as a pro player, as a top pro player? What keeps inspiring you?
This stuff called Transfuse. Shout out to Transfuse.
How many plugs have we given on this show?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, we all work with Transfuse. All of us here.
Dude,
Steven,
they're great, man. Yeah, 100%.
Amazing company. Steven, shout out you guys and the whole organization. You guys are great.
For sure. Okay, so rewind your real question. Dude, you know what? I really do feel you ever have that feeling? I don't know if it's you guys, maybe it's just me. Maybe a few years ago you might have felt like, okay, I have this thing that I want to accomplish, right? And then like you look back at it now and you're like, man, like I would do this and this just to get that accomplished. How was I ever going to do, like, how am I going to ever keep that same workout or this same mentality to get to where I was back then, right? But then your morals and your things, everything starts changing and everything's evolving at the same time. So you might think of something else that's motivating you that you don't really, you're kind of neglecting it because you're still stuck on that past thing to get you to that point. And I really think I really love watching kids who play paintball see that epiphany moment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you guys get it, where you finally click with them and they figure something out and they make that adjustment on the field. They start to like make that adjustment with their snapshot and you see it and you see it click. And that to me is the same feeling as like winning an event, because I know that kid is going to take that back with himself and he's going to work on it and perfect it. And he's going to be better the next time I see him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that you could have just taught the next Ronnie Dizon. You don't
Right.
know.
Or the next Tyler Harmon, who's this tall, who's this tall.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
It is. It's fulfilling. It's truly fulfilling.
I love that. I really do. And that's why this year, like, I'm trying to do more clinics, but obviously, things are going on. It's hard to travel.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year. Holy moly. What's it been like with the heat camp during all this? You guys been doing all right?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's doing their best to obviously do the quarantine thing when it was full effect, but everyone's starting to slowly get out to the paintball fields when they can. I probably should talk to the Russians to see if they're still kicking out there. But
we just had Gorilla on. Yeah,
we had
Gorilla on. Yeah, that was super interesting, man.
How was so is the lockdown pretty the same as what's the culture? Like?
Oh yeah, he was saying that he had to like right when he's leaving to walk his dog, like at a certain time.
He said it was crazy strict, which I was surprised because I thought that it was kind of lawless.
I thought they were gonna be like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, me too.
They really took it serious.
We don't have
COVID.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then over like in Arizona, people are like, "What COVID? There ain't no COVID no more." Like it's over, baby.
We're at pool parties.
People are.
Fuck,
dude. Yeah.
Everybody, all the party people in Chicago went to Arizona because they knew it was open, and they just all are partying out there.
Oh my god,
dude!
And that's why their numbers are skyrocketing again.
It's scary, yeah, for sure. I'm like, everybody get inside.
What are you doing, dude?
But the zonies, they don't like. I just moved out here, but the culture is they're getting it. They're out. They're like, we ain't playing by the rules. We out here getting. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, it's lawless. And no CCWs. Everybody's got a gun on their hip. Everybody's ready to go. It's a whole different world out here.
Dude, you got a whole different planet out there. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It is crazy.
Yeah, no. So I mean, I guess that's it. That's I really love watching people progress in that sense. But at the same time, I still want to be, out there competing. When the whole quarantine thing happened, I'm like, I got to find something to keep me like competitive, and that's when I started playing video games. So
totally.
Well, I was supposed to have a competition with you.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to do the Pro Tour. Yes,
oh
exactly.
Yeah, dude. I want to talk about Pro Tour because you're actually you won the last one, Ronnie, against Ryan, and that's an entirely different format. Brandon Short's Pro Tour, the one-on-one. It's like really simplified. It's truly a gunfight dominant type thing in comparison to the Ultimate Shootout, which I see you're also going to be going to play. That looks pretty fun. More buzzer based, different point system, little gimmicky, but looks really exciting. Looks really fun.
That video you did was great, by the way. Another shameless plug for you.
For sure.
that was
actually,
cool.
Who brought a good analogy towards these 2 1-on-1 formats was Jeremy Solom. I was just at their field yesterday, and he said that the Pro Tour is like your gentleman's boxing, right? You're going mano-a-mano, you're boxing it out, just traditional fight.
That's right.
Then you have Ultimate Shootout. That's your MMA. That's your, hey, here's those different things that you're going to have to work on, right? Here's your jujitsu and all this combining together, and it's such a good way to put it because it's like, dude, like, yeah, because like you're going gunfight heavy, you're going traditional one-on-one with the Pro Tour, you do have that scoring system, but it's like,
right,
you know what I mean? With Ultimate Shootout, it's like, hey, let me try to make a play on like hitting this buzzer and killing you, like
totally. Yeah. There's a lot more in play.
So, I think it's interesting. I really like
smoke
both
is
formats.
dope. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The smoke's
yeah.
cool.
I mean, it does look fun. And that's the great thing is we have, thank God, man, we have so much paintball still right now. Even through these tough times, we're still able to view paintball, which is amazing.
Yeah, Ronnie, what do you think? What happened with the old boy Ryan Greenspan when you played him? What do you think his mistakes were?
He didn't win.
I
So there's
know. How come? How did you beat him? You know, what was your mindset going into that match? To be honest, because that's, you stepping up
Yeah.
to the plate against Ryan is a. I mean, he's one of the legends of the game, and that's
that's the thing. I don't want to disrespect him in any way because like I feel like there's a lot of jokes going on about it, but it's like, dude, like he is still one of the best and greatest to ever do it, right? My mentality going into that was it. It was David versus Goliath. You know what I mean? I wanted to go into it with every, I wanted to be dialed. I wanted to be ready for it. And I took it as if I was playing. I mean, it was almost more pressure because I wanted to take it as I was playing like, the World Cup finals or something like that. I took it seriously,
sure.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I don't think any pro player should ever not take a match seriously. You know what I mean?
Way, yeah.
So I guess that match I got the better of him. Maybe if we went, 3 out of 5 matches, maybe it would be, back and forth. His experience in that format would trump mine. I don't know, but for me, that one match that I played him, I wanted to really show that and get some respect from people who maybe doubted me before that.
What I will say with Ryan is I could count on one hand, if that, people that are smarter than him in paintball, as far as breaking down situations on the field and putting things together come Sunday afternoon. He truly is one of the brightest minds to ever play the game. And that's where he excels. And that's where you see he finds the seams. He usually takes the road less traveled. He's not known for being a heavy gunfighter. You know what I mean? He is more of a cerebral player. He can break apart the other team.
Smart, yeah.
100% always. And so, I was commentating that match between you guys, right? And I was just like, oh man, Ronnie was coming out on fire. That's one of your strengths, dude. You're a great gunfighter, always have been. It's something that you train over and over. I'm curious.
What kind of sparked that gunfight strong mentality was playing with the Russians.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure when you went over to play with the Russians, you understood the amount of focus they put on fundamentals. And that's why the Russians are some of the best fundamentally sound players. But for someone like you, Tyler, you grew up in a camp with the Oakland guys. And I think you truly are the same. Like you and I are the same in the sense of like, we worked on our fundamentals off the field or off like out of the grind for nonstop because we wanted to be just like that,
Totally. When we weren't practicing, I was always doing one-on-ones with somebody. Like it was always we're going heads up,
Exactly. And and that's what I feel when I saw that format. I'm like, dude, this will be a blast. Like this is going to be like that was what drew me into paintball. Actually, if on my YouTube channel, one of my older videos, I made a video of just players gunfighting. Like, I don't know why. I just thought it was such a cool aspect of the sport. And it was like Aftermath players gunfighting.
Yeah.
I think Oliver was in it. Like I just found gunfight clips and it was just a gunfight compilation of just
that's
it
cool.
was just the coolest part of the sport of like, you come out, you come in, then there's like that person throwing another ball and you got to come low and you throw another one. It's like back and forth. And then when I found out like, and started to understand the fundamentals of it, I just loved it. And I think that was, like you said, one of my strengths.
What did you do to prepare for the Pro Tour against Ryan? Did you watch footage of him? Did you just go to a field and play one-on-ones? What'd you do?
Yeah, I think I played some one-on-ones and I couldn't set up the Pro Tour layout anywhere,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, no field in the area had that many small temples. So I mean, what I did was I watched yours, Tyler, with Spica, kind of just took in to know how the format was played. And then I did a lot of drills with targets and with players of just snap shooting and gunfighting and really just dialing the shot in, because I mean, that whole format is about dialing your shot. So when your shot's dialed, at the same time, when you gun battle someone, like you're going to get into that scenario in all aspects of paintball, but you got to just segregate that one part and then just work on it. So,
yeah. Totally. Yeah. It's completely muscle memory almost. Once you find the player and where he's positioned, you're able to send that shot down range, but you got to have all the fundamentals dialed in prior to that shot.
Yeah, exactly. I think the one thing about that format, because as I'm getting, I've been training Chadier Boucher on it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, he's
past
playing. I'm going to see him in a couple days.
Patrick Kraft. So that's going
Yeah.
to be a match for the history books.
Oh
You know?
yeah, that's going to be a great one. I'm really hoping they're going to mic us up. And the cool thing is, this is all going to be live, man. Like, there's no post production on this baby. It's straightforward. I hope they mic us up so they can get the real deal.
Dude,
and
sure.
It's going to be good for the culture right there, baby.
Shout
That's
out to
going to be a
HK
good
Army.
one.
Yeah, I can't wait, dude.
Yeah. HK, man, cannot say enough good things about the company. I know it's probably getting sick of me talking about these guys, but what they do for paintball is unparalleled. Their presence in the industry is unparalleled, and what they're doing right now with B Short and the whole army is pretty amazing. It's going to be fun to do.
Yeah, for sure. So with Yaya, I've been training him on this format, and it's a lot of fun to play. You know, it's
sure.
really a lot of fun to play, and just being able to just go out there and like, okay, who's going to get each other this time? You know?
Yeah.
So it's also like adjusting to what the person's doing. So there's so many factors into it, and
how do those battles go between you and Yaya? Who's winning more of those points? Is this where we insert a cricket noise?
Yaya's sparked another fire in himself, because he's the one. Sometimes he's been pushing me like, let's go another. And I'm like, okay, fucking let's go.
So, I think he's been playing the best he's ever played in the last like year and a half, man. It's the best I've ever seen him play.
He's gonna come out to this one with some heat, dude, for real. No pun intended.
No pun.
So
and PK, I know he's working hard over there too. He's a fiery young cat, and we had him on the show pretty recently. He's more soft spoken than I would have imagined on the show, but when he's on that field, that boy is something. He's pouring loaders and going ham, just living it.
I'm just hoping that he doesn't waste all the paint from the.
I know, huh? Yeah, he's gonna need those. He's gonna need those.
He's like, oh crap, I gotta fill it myself.
Yeah, you only get 2 pods, PK. Only 2 pods, man.
We'll see. I'm excited to see loaders dumped on each other, and
oh yeah.
Maybe loaders spiked on each other's heads. I don't know.
Geez, no, I hope not. None of that.
For the culture.
That would be live action right there. That's some live action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Ronnie, we got a few questions, man, just from people. I think Tyler might have a few more questions as well, but
yeah, I just have one.
Okay, cool. I got one right here too from Cart McKee, but they want to know what your worst paintball experience ever was.
Ooh, worst paintball experience ever?
Mm-hmm.
It was when I first started playing. Okay, and I was so scared to get shot. Okay. And I'm telling you, I will never forget this. And I'm like, I've never I got shot a few times across the field. I never got bunkered, you know?
Oh yeah.
So I'm playing with like my cousins, and like there was like family friends, but they were like cousins to me. The ref decided, instead of playing the field front to back, we're going to play the field side to side. I don't know why.
Oh boy.
He called it this game's 50-50, and he cuts it down the middle, and you start like. And you'd start in the Dorito corner against the other Dorito corner, or I mean the snake corner against the Dorito corner. You know what I mean? And you go this way. So, at the time, the bunkers were like wooden, like planks and like hyperball things on an indoor with like sawdust that was super slippery. So I'm hiding behind something about as wide as me, you know, and I'm in this thing. And I'm hiding, and my cousin's right across from me, and he's like protecting me, and I'm like, I just want this to end. I don't even want to be here, you know. And I was so terrified to get shot, because this is like the second time I ever went, but I loved it. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, I just feel a barrel touch my back, and this guy cranks me right here, like on the shoulder, right? And I'm like a kid, and I'm like, oh, that's what it feels like. Like I'm like, this is really what it feels like to get shot close, you know. And I turn to look at him. And I'm like holding my back. And that's not what really set the tone. My cousin behind me goes to shoot him, and he shoots me in the back. So that's like, this one was like, oh, that's hurt so bad. Maybe I can turn my head and I get cranked in the back of the head. So now I'm crying, because I'm like this, and I'm like this, and like I drop my gun, and I'm like in a fetal position. And I'm like, why do I even want to be here? You know? I had a concussion for a quick second, you know? And I turn, and my cousin has no idea he shot me in the back of the head. And like I'm like walk off the field, and I'm just like crying, I'm bawling. I'm like, dude, I'm over this. Dude, why am I doing this? And they just convinced me to go back out somehow. They're like, "Here, we'll give you a hoodie and a jersey." Like, and at the time, I was wearing 2 hoodies, and I was so
Yeah.
I was like just a kid, dude. And I'm like,
Oh,
man, that experience was like terrifying to me because I'm
for
like,
sure.
yeah. So that was
That'll do it.
Really
That'll
funny.
do it right there.
Uh-huh.
that was a good one because I didn't even. I was thinking like tournaments. I'm like, no, dude, this was it. This was the worst.
Oh boy. Yeah, that sounds pretty bad.
That's real bad, real bad.
Especially you must have been 12, 13,
Dude,
you know.
just a kid,
Just a
dude.
young buck.
Just a
And these paintballs are like 200 plus miles an hour, 200 miles an hour coming out of the barrel.
Smacking me in the dome, dude.
Yeah,
I never got shot in my life that hard.
oh man. Yeah, that's the worst.
Probably bounced too.
Yeah. I know if that damn ball doesn't break, it's like it's trying to go through you.
Yeah,
You're like, oh, come on, no.
Marble.
Yeah.
So, what you got? What you got, Ty? You got another question?
Oh, I'm up next. Okay. Honestly, mine is just how does your hair have so much pop, dude? What's your lady doing over there?
My hair. How did you okay, oh shoot. Okay, so should I go through my hair routine, I guess?
Yeah, dude. Give it to the people. The culture needs to know.
Okay, so I'll be honest. Hair evolves over time, right? So when I was young, I had a bowl cut. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm talking like traditional, like this shit was straight and like thin and bowl cut, right? And then like I don't know what happened, like my high school years, it was just like a fro almost.
Yeah.
Like, it was like curly and like just ridiculous.
Fro
And
status.
then like later in my like just as of like my 20s, like I started to learn about, hair management and stuff. Right?
Yeah. Oh, Marcelo knows his hair's on point.
Hair's on point, dude, it flows. So it was just using like the right, like there's so many different products. Like you got to do some research on the products that you use in your hair.
And your girl, she does hair, right?
Yeah, so she does hair. She actually does the color in my hair, the blonde in my hair. And which is covered up by this collab piece that I'm releasing this Friday.
It's a good piece. It's a good piece.
And so she does the color, and then I have a barber. His name's Carlos. Shout out to Carlos Los.
Yeah.
He cuts my hair, and he's like so this barbershop I went to they had the world record for the fastest fade. So like I went there, and then I met him, and he just started like doing it, and he wasn't the guy who did it, but like he started doing my hair, and then he would like teach me about like the product and how to do it and style it correctly, and then
fastest fade.
Dude, yeah. And then Stella just had been teaching me about this. So, dating her and like learning about hair, and then I don't know, just
when are we gonna have a little Dizon running around, huh?
Next question.
Insert cricket sounds again.
Yeah. Dude, the world needs that. The world needs that.
Imagine that kid would be crazy. He'd be crazy.
Dude. I know. I got 2, and it's the best thing I ever did in my life, man. They're trying to get in the door right now. They're banging. They're like, Dad, what are you doing in there?
That's funny.
Like, I'm working, boys. I'll be out there in a second, man.
What's that in your background, Ty? What is that?
This is the Metatron's cube type of style. It's sacred geometry. It's pretty much like time travel. You step inside of that little guy right there, and you can just go pretty much anywhere you want.
Yeah, for all of our people listening, the YouTube channel is always lit with a different background with Tyler. he beams down from space and has these sweet backgrounds. It's great.
It's just math is the universal language. I'm sure if we meet aliens someday, they'll probably communicate to us in math, some type of math or light or something of that form. So it's just like it's a fun little teleportation project that I'm working with.
If it's math that they communicate with, I'm gonna be lost, dude.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, they won't talk to us. They'll talk to the
computers.
Lords. Oh, true.
They'll talk to the lords, and then we'll just get pawned off somewhere. So it'll be fine.
Conspiracy theories with Tyler.
Ronnie, man, thank you so much, dude. It's been an awesome hour and 45 minutes. Dude. It's been fantastic. Is there any last thing you would like to leave the people with? Any advice? Obviously, we got to plug your channels. Let people know where they can find you.
I can hear you now. We're good.
There it is. Okay.
Oh,
cut out first. We're good.
Sorry.
We're good.
Yep. All right. No, Ronnie, I was just saying, dude, it's an hour and 45 minutes we did. That's fantastic. And
let's
just
do
wondering.
Another hour and 45. What are we doing? Come on.
Let it run. Let it roll.
Go, baby.
Let it roll.
Stella, Stella was wondering when we were going to be done. So
I
Yeah,
was gonna say I hear Stella in the background. I'm like, it's time. But
come get your food. She's so good, dude. All the stories that you put out. Congratulations on finding someone that rolls with you on this adventure. That's a beautiful thing. I know it's not easy being a paintball player and
dude, that's
yeah, it is for sure. But huge shout out to Stella. Huge shout out to the Midwest and your army out there. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You're a legend of the game, and we truly support you on everything you do. And can't wait to see you on the field, hopefully someday soon, man.
hopefully it's sooner than later.
I know, man. It's been brutal.
I sure hope so. Ronnie, where can people keep up with you?
Okay, so first, where should I start? Instagram. My Instagram is Ron Dizon. Make sure you guys hit me up on there. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a DM. Dizon Docs. So my name on YouTube, Ronnie Dizon. You can find me on there, or youtube.com/Ronnie Dizon. Try to make it simple for you guys. There's no underscores in it at all. Shout out to Mike Unger, or not Mike Unger, Brandon Unger. There's another Unger on Aftermath. Actually.
There is a science to these, these
There
plugs that we're doing right now. You got to make it,
make it, let it flow.
Play the game.
Play the game podcast. Make sure you guys are subscribed to their YouTube. They're putting out some videos of them playing on the weekends. Maybe I'll do a collab piece of merch with them very soon. We'll talk business.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, follow me on my gaming channel. It's Rondon Dizon on YouTube. I play video games there, so you could just live interview me there when I'm streaming.
Tight.
And then follow Houston Heat Paintball. Shout out to Houston Heat, Randy Smith, all the squad, and shout out to Dynasty and the boys.
Yeah,
and
baby.
HK Army DLX. You already know how it is.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I mean, those are the people that keep us going, man, and we're so appreciative of everybody in the industry that makes this all happen.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on, and hopefully, we'll be on a future podcast together or something. Yeah,
100%, dude. You'll be back. We have plenty more to ask you. I'm sure the people do too. But again, thanks, Ronnie.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Later, dude.
All right, Ron. Peace.
Wow, that was an epic show. Again, as usual. We love all of our guests. Our guests have been so amazing, but Ronnie is just such an awesome person. He's a great player. He has really accomplished a lot in the sport, and he's just a fantastic human being. So we hope you guys enjoyed it. With that said, you guys, if you would, please head over to ptgpaintball.com and check out our website. If there's any merchandise on there that you guys would like to purchase and support the show, or maybe become a contributor of the show, we would really appreciate it. Tyler and I are working endlessly to bring you guys as much paintball content as possible, and it's really for the culture, for the movement. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And, of course, we have to let you guys know that our website is done by Rusty Glaze at Constant Pursuit. If you guys are in need of any website or web design services, he's honestly your guy. He has an amazing platform that he works with that it makes it really easy for you to edit and work on your own after he puts everything together for you. So I love that we can go in on our back end and we can change things as need. It's not as confusing as some of these other platforms, but he set everything up for us and made it look amazing. And like I said, everything is really simple. So any paintball fields or stores or anyone out there, or maybe a player that is trying to build their personal brand, check out constantpursuit.com. And again, guys, just can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.